sorry.
Let me tell you, I know when you freeze because you can't hear the silverware in the kitchen.
Girl.
Look.
And it sounds like you working in the kitchen this episode.
Girl, let me tell you, coming
restaurant.
live from the ground this episode, okay? She's like, we're behind the scenes with Minority Report, and the kitchen's of Palm Springs.
I know that's right.
Like, ain't one nobody in the house. All of a sudden, I'm about to do my recording. They all up in here, making all kinds of goddamn noise.
They couldn't be poolside for like an hour.
No,
they couldn't just take a couple of drinks,
not.
White
Take a
Claw.
nap.
They wanted so bad.
By pool.
They wanted so bad to be on this episode that they said, y'all gonna hear us today.
You're gonna hear me today. If she come up with the gift part 2, I'ma lose my shit. like, how you gonna squeeze in the gift part 2?
Instead of the gift, it's gonna be called presents.
It's gonna be called regift.
Regift.
Exactly.
Hey community, here's what's brewing today.
Beyonce and Blue Ivy stay working.
Ask Yo Aunteas, him got no job.
And Zendaya's Met Gala. So get your cups ready for Minoritea Report. Hey, welcome to Minoritea Report. It's Auntie Kerel.
It's Auntie Dawon.
And it's Auntie Jerrell. Hey, y'all.
Hey. How are you
Make sure I
two
ain't
doing
nothing
today?
but tea. I just had a salad, so I just wanted to make sure before we start talking.
It'd be like, ooh, hi.
Oh no, internet.
It's like, how you doing?
Right. Are y'all ones that would like tell people you have something in your teeth?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I am too.
I even tell strangers. I'm like,
I'd be
Yeah, same.
I'd be tactful about it, but like,
Right.
you know, or if like
Oh,
a bra
no.
strap falls down or whatever, I'd be like,
Yeah.
I actually did that like the other day. It was like one of my colleagues. We were at dinner and like her bra strap was down. I was like, she was like,
Exactly.
she's like, oh, thank you.
Exactly.
oh, you nice.
We
You know,
looking reckless out here.
you know
Yes.
damn well I'm the person who would stare up in your mouth like this. Just giving your face, but like to the point where you realize that I'm not looking in your eyes. You're not getting eye contact from me.
No,
I'm
honey.
clearly all up in your mouth to the point where you're gonna ask
Why
me.
you all
is
in
there-
my grill?
Look, and you're gonna ask me, is there something in my teeth? And I'm like, yes.
Yes.
It's like that Austin Powers. He's like, guacamole, mole.
I forgot about that
that's
little
funny.
guy.
Look.
That's
Yeah, right. Oh man, I used to watch that movie a lot. But community, hopefully you're doing all right out there. Hopefully you're surviving allergy season. Is that yearly reminder that Kerel is dying during this time of year?
baby.
Like it is horrendous right now. Capital whore.
Look. And from you Americans that ain't got no sense, I hope y'all survive Cinco de Mayo as well too. So
Ooh, that's right.
that was the day before this came out too. So
Well,
yeah.
hopefully we survived it too.
you know what? I got some damn nerve because I might be on a party bus in New York on Cinco de Mayo. So who knows?
Yeah, because that's on a Sunday, right?
It's a true Sunday fun day.
Oh.
Let me tell you.
I'm
But my
staying
friend
away
was
from
like,
them
"Oh, we can."
streets.
Look, my friend was like, "Oh, we can drink tequila." I said, "No, I will drink some Mexican beer, but I ain't doing the
Some
tequila."
Modelo.
Look, okay.
Cerveza, por favor.
But tequila, nah, man, it's a no for me, dog. Someone asked me the other day. They were like, "Oh, Jerrod, what's your ratchet drink?" And I was like, "Well, I mean, Henny."
You mean regular drink?
obviously.
He said water,
Water.
Kool-Aid, orange juice.
Beverages, like what you mean? I was like,
my
but,
ratchet drink?
but I was like, Henny and tequila, the two drinks that will have me. I'm living the Megan Thee Stallion fantasy. I'm living the, when it's up, then it's up with Cardi. I am, when I tell you, I am just, can nobody really tell me shit?
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah.
Yeah, no, mine is probably any kind of brown liquor just because it just gives me the worst hangovers. That's why I just don't drink it anymore. And honestly, even like too much vodka anymore, I'm like, girl, this body's just changing. I am changing. Like,
Girl, you just went over the hill. Now she said, I'm down
literally.
here.
I know,
Okay?
right?
no,
1 month
it's
in,
like-
and she 1 month in, and she over here downhill skiing
Right.
now. Bitch. She just
Seriously, it's probably been the last year where I'm like, man, just because it just goes down too easy, and then you just drink more, and things like that. And so it's just like, girl, this is not it.
yeah.
I would have to say for me, it's definitely the gin and tonics, because like gin is that liquor that like sneaks up on you and like, you know, punches you on the side of your head when you're not looking. Like you just be having a good old baby, you be having a good old time, just like sipping, and then next thing you know, hey,
On the flow.
like, I love you. Bye.
That was Corey Edward. Corey Edward's not the biggest drinker ever, but this past weekend we went out. And he's like, I feel like drinking. And whenever he says that, I'm like, oh no.
It's about to be
Oh
some
no,
mess.
when he gets that, he was drinking gin martinis. He was drinking Cosmos. He was
Yeah.
doing shots. And I'm like, oh,
Oh,
God.
Corey.
And-
Oh, wow.
Oh, God. And he was just in that mode. And I'm like, oh, my God, my husband just out here. out here. And all my friends were like, we ain't seen this Corey. I was like, I know. I'm sorry. I apologize. And then the next one, he's like,
introducing
oh, my God.
to you two.
Right.
Coming to the stage. What's her drag name?
She said,
Yeah,
I have two
hello.
photos in my hand. One of these photos is a woman that is going to make it home okay. The other photo
was
is a
out
woman
here.
who will be in the gutter by the end of the night.
Ooh, and that was him. He was slurring. And I was like, oh no, my boo she had to let her hair down for a little bit. I was like, okay, I'll be
Well,
the
good for
responsible
her.
one tonight.
Good for her.
But yeah, I'm not the biggest gin drinker. That's the one liquor that I never really cared for.
Same.
Yeah.
I'm 100% with you.
It tastes
Gin
like
is
pine salt, or at least what
I
pine
love
salt would, I would imagine what pine salt would taste like.
It's
But
very
you know what? That's
botanical.
accurate. It tastes like a cleaning supply, though. It tastes like something
Yeah.
you'll clean something with, though. Like, yeah. It's no. I'm okay with it. There's plenty of other things to drink. And put
Which
in my
gin
mouth.
do you prefer?
Hendrix.
Juan? You like Hendrix? Corey likes Hendrix
Oh, I
if it's
do
gonna
that
be like a gin and like tonic or something like that. But if it's in a martini, he prefers beef eaters.
Yeah, I don't do gin martinis at all. My
Yeah.
martinis are Kettle One, and my gin is Hendrix. I'm like and if they ain't got that, then I'm not drinking.
You
I'll
ain't
have
drinking.
water. I'll have water. I ain't having no
He
damn.
said, "I'll take my ass home. I'm going home."
What? Ooh, what? Girl, let's get you some shoes. What is this?
Oh man! And
Oh.
community, if you hear anything in the background, Dawon's on vacay. He living his
Yeah.
best little Palm Springs life right now. So
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. As you couldn't tell by the
man.
decor behind me, that's so very
yes.
50s.
absolutely. How's Palm Springs treating you, boo?
It's good. I wish I would have taken some days off, to be honest with you. Like I'm working during the day, and that just fucks up the whole vibe. Like literally on Monday, I had interviews at 9:00 Eastern time, but since I'm in California time, that's 6 a.m.
The worst.
So I'm like,
worst.
oh, we're hanging out, we're just now having a good time, and I'm like, I gotta go to bed because I got a fucking interview at 6 in the goddamn morning, which means I have to be up at 4:30 to be prepped for it. So
Right.
yeah, didn't really plan that well, but I did take tomorrow off, so I'll be glad to like spend the day with the Judies and all that kind of stuff. But
That's
yeah, I really wish we could have been here through like the whole weekend, because it's like Friday. God, a Sunday to a Friday thing, but you
Yeah.
know, we got things to do this weekend.
We got things to do.
Yes, we do. Yes,
three of us
we
have
do.
things to do.
Exactly.
this weekend.
We got things to do. The
Yes,
community, you'll
we
see
do.
it soon enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll just leave
Yes,
it
they
at
will
that.
see with
We've
their
been alluding to it
eyeballs.
for a while now. We've
Right.
been alluding
I
to
know,
it for a
right?
while, but y'all see it eventually. We promise.
You'll see it eventually.
It'll be out there. It'll be out
And I
there.
can't
I
wait
know
to
that-
talk about it too.
They out there like, what did they do now? What is
What
going
these
on?
hoes doing?
You'll find out.
Look,
You'll find out in due time.
In due time. But yeah, no, I love Palm Springs. I don't like even like because you're like, oh, come to Palm Springs, we're going this week, and I was like, that's just like with knowing what we have coming up, and then I was just like, it's just too much. I was like, there's just a lot going on right now.
And I even preface it by saying, because like this was like 3 weeks before we were. This was like 3 weeks ago from today.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I know this is last minute, but
Yeah.
we're planning this. If you want to
get
go,
your
let
ass
us
on the
know.
plane. I'm like, damn. It's like, I'm gonna try. It's just like you like, and let me say it quieter. You just gotta pick and choose your battles sometimes with your husband, with your significant others.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? And you know what mine did? Opt to go with Dawon in Palm Springs.
I don't blame him. I don't
So
blame
I said, go ahead. Oh, yeah. You want to take like 5-6 days off to go to? Oh, yeah. Absolutely,
Enjoy
go
yourself.
for it. Have a good time.
And then in the back of your mind, you're like,
Great
oop, I
times
get one more in the future.
I'm on camera.
Look,
I'm on camera.
I was just like,
Okay.
I'm gonna go twice.
Okay, she just, okay, Auntie Landy in the background.
Landon in the
Just got
background.
the chest out. Come on now. Oh, and the ass out. Okay.
Right.
Show them cakes on the YouTubes. I know that's
Look,
right.
I told her, I said, I snapped over to get her attention, not because, you like that, but the conversation was
she
going
answers.
and and I said that I'm on camera. So she knew. So she knew what she was doing.
She knew what she was
She's
doing.
showing
She's
off
like-
these cookies. She
was
said,
like,
I'm
show the
showing off all these
community what I
cookies and
got.
goodies.
Ow.
Ow.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
Love you.
Hey,
Love you.
Yeah, that's that special that you gotta watch the YouTube on that one. See them
yeah.
them tatas and ass cakes all out. And by the way, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell button for any new content we put on the YouTube. And we've been saying it the last few weeks. Just let the playlist of all our episodes play in the background. That way we could get super duper close. And we're super duper close to this monetization of YouTube because they got all these
Yes.
rules and regulations. So help a bitch out. Help your aunties out. Come on now. And then also check out minorityareport.com. We have new merch out there. So, that's another way you could kind of help your aunties out here. And so appreciate you all for rocking us in year 5 now. I guess this maybe is year 6 now, technically, right?
Going
I guess
into
we're
6.
going
Yeah.
into the
We're
year
going
6.
into
So
6.
Yes.
Yeah.
wild. And
Damn.
just onward and upward still.
Yeah, I know that's right.
But let's see here. What's on the list here? I forget now. Oh, ooh. Let's talk about Mufasa first.
Okay.
Let's talk about just how hard this damn Carter family be working. Like, when did they record voiceover in the last 2-3 years?
That I don't
When you got time for that?
Let me tell you, I have no idea how this family is fucking working the way that they are. Because you know what I was thinking? Listen to this. Think about the timeline. Beyonce told us that she started doing Renaissance 5 years ago. You know what was 5 years ago? Beychella.
Yeah.
This year.
Yeah.
So
Or
literally
6 years ago this year. Yeah.
2019 is when 2018
Yeah.
when the documentary came out. So literally
Yeah.
she got off that fucking stage and went boop.
back to work.
And had the Lion King in there. Had
The Lion King, had the gift in there. She has.
She
gave
been
us
planning
Black is
this
King.
tour.
She gave us Black is King, the whole visual to that as well.
And then recorded Cowboy Carter, Renaissance, a third act.
Designed
Sacred.
designed the costumes and the goddamn stadiums and the set
All them
design
Ivy
and all
Park
that.
drops that we had the last
Right.
5-6 years.
Right.
Damn, step my pussy up. I
let
am
me tell you,
tripping.
y'all know how we were saying that RuPaul stays in the bag?
Honey.
Beyonce stays in the bag. The whole
stays in the
Carter
bag.
family stays in the bag. You
And
right.
bag. Okay.
Because I'm like, they just dropped. I was like, oh, Mufasa, okay, this is gonna be cute. Then it says, introducing Blue Ivy Carter and Beyonce Knowles Carter. I'm like, this family.
Ain't no
Take it.
hustle like a family of hustlers. For real. And I'm not mad at it because there's a lot of people that
I'm
are
a
sitting on them
hustler.
hands right now.
I'm a hustler. Exactly.
So
Yeah,
you
man.
know.
Hove done told us. I guess that's that hustler coming from him too. That DNA. 'Cause this is wild.
Okay, but I'm gonna have to be honest though. The bar is down here though. The bar is down here
For the movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
The movie's down here
yeah.
because the Lion King itself was down here. It just there's just something about doing that kind of live kind of animal thing that it didn't give the facial expressions. It didn't give like that playfulness that the music and that the voices have. It just felt like bad voiceover to like a National History Channel like a documentary on like
it seems a little rushed too. Like even the animation, at least in the clip. So I don't know. Maybe they got to December to get it all the way together. So you know they got a few more months. It just seems a little rushed. It just doesn't seem like they had their A team on the animation thus far. So we'll see. I'll hold judgment maybe a little bit till December. But
here's the thing though too. Like it's like they're doing an add-on to The Lion King, and it's like who ordered this? Like we know that like. OG things you just don't divvy too far away from the original. You already took a chance with the first movie, and now you're gonna go even further. This is giving very much.
Give us a backstory. Give us Scar.
Thank you.
That would
thank you. Yes. Why my nigga upset? Why my nigga like why he hate like
so
this?
Mad?
Like why he like? That's why what I want to say.
Why you hate your brother?
Look, I mean, we know all skin folk and kin folk, but damn.
That's what we want. That's the good story.
Come on now.
That's the good story.
We
need the Scar story.
Yeah.
So we don't need the foo-foo stuff. We don't see all the foo-foo.
Who would be like the voiceover for that?
For Scar, I almost want the original person that did it. Like that, his voice for Scar in the animation was just so like
delicious,
iconic to me.
It really
like
was
who did
iconic.
who did it in the live action? I don't even know. Let me look that up. Here's Scar.
I'm not sure.
Actor. So okay, that makes sense. I knew that. In the original, it was Jeremy Irons.
Okay.
And you know Jeremy Irons, he was in God, he's been in like everything. But he was in Watchmen.
Yep.
He was in let's look up his stuff. But anyway, then in the new one, it was I can never say his name right. You know this actor, Chiwetel Ejiofor or whatever.
Yep.
But yeah, so no, I would want Jeremy Irons to do it again. It looks like he's still alive, so
now he look like he's still alive.
Well, I mean, he don't look like he's still alive, but he is alive.
Damn.
Some people just don't age. You know, certain white people just don't age well.
Let me tell you, you said it. I thought
most of them do. Most of them do.
Like,
poorly.
Like, damn. But yeah. So shout out to them.
I just learned the other day that
Jeffree
Jeffree Star wasn't like in his 40s.
Who's Jeffree Star? Oh, the makeup person?
You could have just left it at that.
Oh. Like the second time, I was like, hold on, I think I know that. Yeah, nobody checking for her.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, shout out to Mufasa. I probably won't see it in the theater. I'll probably wait till it get on Disney Plus.
I'll watch it in the theater. I'll watch it just because for me, this is one of those things like, okay, I show up for Beyonce, but this is one of those things where I want to show up for Blue. You know, like want, like for me, like I just think about this young black child that is already under the spotlight, and I want to make sure that, you know, this opportunity for, you know, for her is just something that she can look back on and be like, I really enjoyed doing that. You know?
Yeah.
So I'll buy the tickets, but I probably won't watch it.
There you go.
Maybe I'll take my nieces to go see it. Maybe because it's December 20th, I think. So maybe I'll be home for the holidays. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe that's what I'll do.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. But stay in that bag, not mad. Just making me need to hustle more and step my pussy up. That's all I know. Then I know, Jerrell, you said you ain't going to watch no more. Dawon, have you been watching the rest of the episodes of Jerrod Carmichael? It's good.
I wanted to. But I started watching The Circle, and honey.
Oh, you
Jerrod ain't got shit. He ain't got shit on The Circle.
You did text us that last week.
Baby.
You're like, girl.
Up to the wee hours of the night. And you know, they only release a certain number of episodes at a time until they all get released. So you get right good and ready for all the drama and whatnot. And then it's like, it's cut off. And you got to wait for 3 days for the next 4 episodes to come out. But honey, So
is that
no, I have
Landon
not
in
been
the
watching.
background cooking? Is he cooking
Landon is.
something?
Let me tell you, Landon is doing the most back there.
The
'cause I can
most in the
hear-
background.
I can hear both them bitches. Just the
It's
pots
gonna be a
and
hard
pans
ass
and
episode
everything.
to
Girl,
episode to clean up.
here,
Damn.
look.
I'm gonna just turn this mic off when I'm not speaking.
Right. Like, damn.
And I read him the riot act. Them.
Oh, I know.
It's not just him.
I know.
So I'm like, y'all been waiting all goddamn day. Y'all been laying out here luxuriating outside in front of the pool, and y'all waiting
And
until
now y'all hungry.
Now y'all waiting till now to start cooking and moving shit around. Like literally, I'm setting up, and they're like undoing the dishwasher, like clanking. I'm like, what is this?
Damn.
no,
Landon
I
act
know
like he
it's
ain't
them.
never been on the podcast before. Shit.
No,
Look.
and by the way,
Quiet
it's not
on the
Landon.
set.
It's not her.
Okay. Hey, Adam, I love you, boo.
He can't hear you.
Love you, boo. Thank you for letting me stay at your house.
Right. Girl.
Oh, Lord, that's funny.
No, I
you
haven't
asked
watched.
the character.
And let me tell you, and you're right. I have not. Going back to the conversation, I have
Yeah.
not resumed
It's
any
good.
of his show.
It's good.
I stand by what I said when we were on Bad Queers.
You
10
said,
toes
who is
down.
this nigga?
You're like, who is
No,
he?
you said I got like 15 other cousins that look like this nigga.
Just,
I mean,
well,
you're not wrong.
I was trying to
Took me
understand, but I did start the circle. I did start the circle. I have a little issue with the circle. Here's my current issue with it.
What episode are you at?
I'm on the 3rd episode right
Okay.
now. I just actually know I'm going into the 4th episode.
Okay.
It's overly produced, and it's just something that this season just feels less about them actually having an issue, and you can tell that they are bitten clips and placing things together to kind of create some of that drama so far. Now, it is funny. It is funny watching these people interact with the AI. That shit is cracking me the fuck up. And they are like eating this shit like, that's a real person. You know that's a real person. That's a real response. That person saying some AI type shit. And I'm just in here like, damn.
So they know that one of the contestants is
They
AI?
know.
Yes.
They
Yes.
know.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
But they don't know who
Yes.
it is.
Okay.
They don't
Yeah.
know who it is.
Damn,
Yeah.
I
All
don't
I'm
know if
gonna
I prefer
say-
it that way or if they didn't even know AI was one of the contestants.
No,
That would be even
get through
fucked up.
episode
Both
4,
like
baby.
that.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
that's the first caught off before they did the next 4 episodes.
Okay. Yeah, because right now I'm getting to the first elimination. Like they just ranked everybody and now they're gonna go through who's ranked now that they've added in the AI and the new girl QT.
What I will say, because I don't want to like give it away, but it's worth the watch. Let me just say that.
Okay.
But what I will say is that so far, I feel like, Jerrell, to your point, the casting is like the people that they selected for the cast, in my opinion, are like they're people that are too much. It doesn't feel like I would have loved to have seen more like regular people. Just
Yes.
regular, like
Yes.
everybody that's on there is like, oh, I'm
it
a,
was a character.
everybody is like an affectation of like they have you can imagine what their Instagram looks like they are in some way, shape, or form some kind of like social media influencer of some way, shape, or like you can just tell by, with the exception of the one that's a nurse, but
He loud.
and
Typical gay. Typical gay.
I'm done.
yeah, so that's the only thing that I'm not super crazy about. But the games, because it's this one is less about the drama so far in between the people. There is that, but it's more about the games, because them games that they be making them go through the challenges be shady as fuck. Because a lot of people, their strategy is, I'm just gonna befriend everyone, and there are some people whose strategy ain't that. And
I haven't watched The Circle since the first season. Did the first season come out like right before the pandemic, or like during the pandemic, or something? Maybe right before.
I want to say right before the pandemic.
This is season 6.
This
Yeah.
is
So I wanna
six,
say right
okay.
before
So
the
right before
pandemic.
the pandemic then. And I remember we watched that first season. And then after that, I don't know why we just never got back into it, especially during the pandemic, since, man, like, that was all you could do was watch damn TV. So I don't know why we didn't get back into it ever, really.
I think probably because like they don't release all the episodes, and at that point, I think y'all were just only watching things where
Just
like
on to the next. Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Very
Like,
well.
I ain't waiting all this time.
Because Corey would be like, okay, I'm either going to do it all right now, or I'm no longer interested.
Yes. Yes.
So that's probably what it was. Okay, but maybe, I don't know, the AI is a kind of interesting thought process. So maybe I'll watch it. We'll see.
The way that they have upped the game factor in this, because it's at this point the game is actually playing them instead of them playing the game, and that's I love that kind of twist on things, because regardless of whatever their strategy is, as they're kind of like befriending people and like trying to build alliances and whatnot, the game be fucking it all that shit up.
Yeah.
It's like, y'all think y'all gonna be friends? Let me throw this little.
Let's see.
You know what? You know what's crazy?
Pebble in the water.
What's crazy is
make some ripples.
Here's the thing that gets me with this is just thinking about like AI later down the road, right? And how this would be such a norm. And then also seeing in real time people not knowing the difference between talking to someone real and talking to someone AI.
Man.
Oh, absolutely.
Which from a security standpoint just is very fucking concerning. And
Oh,
then
y'all thought
watch
you was
this
getting
AI
catfish now.
Let me tell you, right? But then watching the AI be like, like I chose a photo with a dog because photos with a dog get a 26% more likes than photos without dogs. And I'm going to say that I'm a Cancer because the most loved, zodiac sign is a Cancer because of empathy and stuff like that. So literally just taking all this data to like use it against people and watching people literally eat that date like that up. It's like, shit, bitch. Like some people really out here just la 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 and not understanding what's real and what's not.
Yeah, that's wild. No, maybe I'll watch it. I'll watch it if you watch the rest of the Jerrod Carmichael Show.
Don't watch it because I'm not watching
Okay.
it.
Sounds good. Jerrod. I keep saying Jerrod. But I will say this, at least for those that are watching the show, I know the race baiting thing and all that, the first couple episodes, they chose the right ones to kind of launch the show because it's probably the most polarizing, maybe, per se. As the season goes on, it's interesting of how he's dissecting everything of why he thinks the way he thinks, the way he acts, and things like that. That's what the true show is actually really about. And he's just picking literally every aspect of his life, whether it be his boyfriend, whether it be his friendships, whether it be like he did one episode, he did a road trip with his dad back to his hometown just because he said we never really just like sat and just talked and figure out why I think the way I think and why did he do some stuff growing up the way he did it. And you see even through his dad why Jerrod is the way he is. That episode almost made me like boo-hoo at the end because I was like, whoa, okay, we see why Jerrod is the way he is then. And then like the last episode that just came out was one with one of his comedian friends and trying to get him to go to therapy to kind of dissect some of his trauma from his childhood and just the reaction of that camaraderie. And he's also a comedian, so he takes him on the road with him, and you see that dynamic of just like, I don't want to do the way you're doing it, Jerrod. And kind of like, so it's just interesting. He's literally dissecting everything he knows and trying to figure out why. And so that's been very, very interesting to see. And then I was just looking up the next episode that comes out. Okay, it would have came out like this past Friday. This episode, he's taking his boyfriend home to meet his mom. Because in
The one
dad
who cheated
episode,
on a bunch of times, he got a new boyfriend.
Well, it's the one he cheated on a bunch of times. But you got to watch the dad episode to even dissect some. It's wild, actually. And honestly, it's good. It's good. He's doing stuff that I don't think anyone else would have the bravery to do, honestly. And you find out maybe why he even wants to do it on TV, too. So, like, it's been interesting.
I guess that's my thing. Like, I could appreciate someone who is going through therapy and like sharing it with the world, because that is something that's kind of vulnerable. But in the year 2024, therapy ain't that new. It's not groundbreaking to know that we all got something to work on, that we all have baggage.
Well,
let me finish. It's not necessarily about him in the episode. I'm just talking out loud, like how I think about. A lot of people like to use therapy as a conversation starter, of being like, this is something worth talking about. But the truth is, it's way more normal than it actually is. And to me, it's not something that's a wow factor that's going to pull me into a conversation about wanting to learn to someone. Because to me, going through my therapy, you got to be careful of trauma dumping. You got to be careful of how you use therapy in which you have learned to then associate yourself to other people, and you're bonding over the wrong things, if that makes sense. So that is why I think
you're explaining exactly the show. That's literally what it is.
And that's probably why I'm not interested in it, because I'm like, I already went through my therapy and I already have done that, and that is not something that I'm interested in.
Y'all watching The Circle and all this shit. Y'all watching some other shit.
No. But they're not talking about their therapy. They're not talking about their therapy. I don't need to know all of that. I don't need to know all of that. And that's just my thing. But I will say this. Hearing your story, I do still want people who need to hear those messages and who need that representation, though, that can also help maybe encourage other people to be vulnerable, with their family and stuff like that, especially within our community. And that's still something that's very taboo in the Black community. I 100% understand. It just don't have to be something that I watch. I can support from over there.
From over there.
And it will still be like this. Go ahead. Good for you, baby. Good for you.
Jerrod is Jerrell Sierra.
You know what?
You might be right about that.
It's very much giving that.
It's very much giving that.
Oh my God! It very much.
Very much.
It's very much. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
that's what it's given.
I said it on the Bad Bad Queers podcast, and I'll say it again. I mean, I'm not going to knock anybody's hustle. I think that Jerrod has a perspective and a point of view that I'm glad that he has an outlet to be able to share that, because there are people that really resonate with his delivery mechanism. I do feel like there's something a little exploitative, like self-exploitative about like this kind of like this quote unquote, like I'm documenting my therapeutic journey, but also it's like through the lens of like entertainment, which, I guess time will tell in terms of how that will be perceived. But, I mean, he's a different voice than a lot of the other voices that we've been hearing. So, I say go off, sis.
I say all these white people that have been doing this for decades.
I don't watch
been
them
sharing
either.
all that crazy shit.
I'm the captain.
All this Jerry Springer shit.
She said, I'm the captain
all this
now.
Maury shit. It's like, girl, get that bag. Get that bag while you're working on yourself.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, to be fair, and you're absolutely right. I mean, I'm not gonna say that white people haven't been, getting
That's
claims
all
on
they
this.
do.
But the truth is, and y'all know me, I don't watch any of that type of shit. I don't watch I don't watch reality TV show. I don't do so. At least I'm consistent in my haterade. Okay,
He said, I
everybody
don't
gets
watch reality TV show when I just dissected The Circle for the last 30 minutes.
because that ain't reality TV. That is produced. That is produced bullshit. That's not like 5 friends pretending to be somebody. Like
Yeah.
You watch, and that's probably why you stopped watching it too, Kerel, because you're like,
I was like, this shit ain't real.
It's
ain't
literally
it. Call this shit like a TV show. Like, call this shit Scandal. Like, then okay, I'm good. Like, I'm like whatever. Yeah. It's like, y'all some good actors. Y'all deserve an Oscar for this shit. But yeah. But anyway, community, let us know. What are y'all watching? Is there something that we're missing? Or probably not even me. Because Dawon and Jerrell be on it. I don't be watching nothing. And then if you continue to watch the Jerrod Carmichael Show, let us know what you kind of think of the latest episodes after the kind of like the first few episodes that were kind of maybe a little more clickbaity, which you got to do what you got to do to get folks in to kind of get to the meat and potatoes of a series as well.
Red Table Talk left a hell of a gap, so I'm glad that somebody's trying to fill them shoes.
that part. And on that note, we're going to take a quick little tea break. You go. Wait, what you was about to say?
I was going to say, because I don't know if Shannon Sharpe is feeling it.
Ooh, let's talk about that right quick before the tea break. Did you watch the Amanda Seales stuff, that interview?
Yes.
Yeah.
From start to cringy
it was good,
finish.
but like Shannon be cracking me up, low key. Shannon kind of, he's very good at what he does. Very, very good at what he does, knowing how to bait whoever he's talking to give him what he needs. Very, 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 like one of the best I've seen in a long time, honestly. Does he play fair with everybody? Hell no. But that's not what his job is. That's not what his job is. And that's not honestly going to get the views that he needs for his show, and he knows it. So he doesn't care to play fair. That's not what his role is as an interviewer. At least that's not his style. Because a lot of people are saying, you ain't give Amanda Seales the same grace you gave a Cat Williams and Monique and all this. Show didn't. Didn't. But it got the response that millions are watching this damn episode. It was interesting to see how he played it. And it was also interesting to see how Amanda played it too, honestly.
Do you think the response was, the way his approach was worth it for the views though? Like for me, I mean, like, yes for him, but I mean, like, but personally, not for him, but for personally, do you think
I probably
that
wouldn't have watched it otherwise, honestly. I probably wouldn't have watched Amanda for at least for that long of an interview, probably with anyone else, and this immediate time. Like I wouldn't have watched it if she was on like Tamara Hall or somebody. I'll say that. And I like Tamara, so maybe not Tamara, but like I'm trying to think of who's like a random, like I don't know, like a late night show or something. I don't know who else would kind of give that much time. So maybe a random podcast or something. But I just know how Shannon is, and makes it a little more entertaining to see how he bases these guests to give what he needs to give. So that's how it got me, honestly.
Yeah. I just felt honestly like it was unnecessary. Like
agreed.
That interview could have been just as impactful.
Just keep talking if you hear us.
Okay. That interview could have been just as impactful, just as juicy, just as as clickbaity, without him having to drag her through the mud, so to speak, and antagonize her experience. He wasn't even coming from an informed place. And given the fact that
thank you.
Given the fact
he never is. But that's the thing. It don't make it right though. You're right. He never is, and that's what I don't like about it, because it's not right. And that's what. And I'm sure that the pre-call for what this interview was going to be about, I'm sure that the open discussion was going to be specifically about her diagnosis, specifically about her experience in here, etc. So to use that as a platform to essentially try to debase someone's lived experience for the purpose of, and I don't know if this was intentional or not, and if it was, it's a fucked up way to act. If it wasn't intentional, he was just operating from a place of I didn't realize that I was coming off like that. That could be a real thing. It didn't seem like that. It seemed like he was intentionally being closed off to her experience. Yes. And the black woman is the most disrespected, unbelieved person on the planet. So to play into that stereotype, I think part of it was a generational.
Do you think she knew? Like, oh, sorry, you froze up there. Go ahead.
For me? I froze?
Yeah, you did. You froze up.
Oh.
Yeah, you froze.
I just think it was a fucked up thing. Sorry, I just think that it was a fucked up thing to do. If that was his intent, which was to use this as kind of like a, to be antagonistic about her experience, to really dig into it or whatever, I thought that was really fucked up. Because there are ways for you to have a engaging, fiery conversation without having to try to discredit or demonstrate your disbelief of someone else's experience. Like him, like berating her, which it felt like I'm using explosive language, so I understand that. So there's a little bias coming through in my language. But him using very accusatory language when she was talking about her experience being in school and, saying that, oh, kids are not supposed to, kids are not supposed to, talk back to teachers and da da da. First and foremost, that has nothing to do with what her lived experience is. And the fact that he's trying to use this as a way to like challenge what her belief system is and what her experience was going through that, it just signals the wrong kinds of things to me.
And like she pointed out too, she was like, it's funny that you are literally saying the same thing that I'm saying. Like, you come at the same approach talking about, where my time when I grew up, this is what kids couldn't do this. And I'm like, you're talking about your experience, but she can't talk about her experience.
Right.
Like, I just don't live for that level. That's just not how I conversate. And I guess the reason why I don't communicate with other people like that, because I'm a fighter. And so people like that, like him, are the people who I stop talking. And you better beware of my silence, because my silence is I'm sizing you up and I'm figuring out how this is going to go. And I'm running simulation after simulation in my head as far as which objects I'm using, if I'm choking you out, if I'm coming at your ankles, if I'm blowing out a kneecap, like what the fuck I'm doing, because I'm no longer thinking about the conversation. And so for me, I do not care for people who interview styles are like that, because there is not a level of respect. It's a selfish interview. It's a one-pointed interview, and it's not about the guest.
When you go on Pierce
the fact
Morgan,
that people go up on there they do it for like the Kerel reason though, of like wanting to be entertained. So
Yes,
I also can't be too mad at the interviewer, because don't give the motherfucker a platform. If
When
you
you
didn't go on there,
And
guess
then
what?
also don't go on it either.
Exactly.
That's the other piece. It's
Yeah.
just like, she knew what she was walking into. Like, he's been around he's been doing this kind of style. Yes, maybe a little rougher on her. I will agree with that piece.
Yes.
But he's been doing this kind of style for a decade on ESPN.
when you go to Jon Stewart,
knowing,
when you go to Pierce Morgan, you know what you're going into. I don't think that the history
that
of
she knew
how
that Shannon was
the
that
history
bad.
of how his online persona is not that antagonistic. That was a shock
Got it.
to me. For the
Oh.
the amount of time that he spent really challenging her belief system and her experience, that was not an expectation that I even had for him, and it just made me feel a little less. I lost a little bit of respect for him as a result of that, to be honest.
Yeah, like
I agree.
Yeah, no, I expected it. The second I saw that, I was like, oh Lord, but it pulled me in because I knew. I was like, damn. But again, it's just like, out of all the shows she could have gone on right now, part of me feels like it might have been a little self-serving for her as well, because she knew it was going to be the millions of views. She could have gone anywhere else in the world.
I think
Shannon's the hot. Shannon's
But she
the
had
hot
to go
spot
black.
right now.
She had to go black though. She has to go to a black show, because a lot of the conversation
there's Sherry
right
Shepherd,
now.
there's Tamron Hall, there's a multitude
But
of
with her
podcasts,
being on daytime
you know?
show, with her being on The Real, I think she knows that the conversation that she needs to have isn't going to serve a purpose on a daytime show like a Sherry Shepherd or a Tamron Hall, because she knows how that stuff works. So I bet you that wasn't her playbook. They're like, that's not an option.
Yeah.
As far as the conversation with her in the community, she needed to be going to more of a black show that has more of a black audience,
Right,
which is him. So I agree. I think there was some self-serving to it as well too, but I think it also pointed out some of the things that we talked about on. Did we talk about Amanda Seales on Ours, or did we talk about
I think
it
it was on
theirs?
Bad Queers.
Bad
Bad Queers. You know, I mentioned it was just like, it just had me question though. Again, the other people that have interacted with her, because the conversation of watching him interact with her, I know is a very common thing between black folks. That level of
100%.
conversation, right?
100%.
And that's exactly what I was talking about over there as well too. So I can definitely see that people were not understanding where she was coming from, which is very factual and studies and stuff like that. And then a lot of people talking about their feelings, their experience, and she's sitting here like, okay, I'm gonna say that I understand. I have those too, but here's what the study says, which is also part of my experience. So that's why I'm dissecting it the way that I did. And people don't like that. People in the black community don't like to be told. And people, I want to say that like to be told. It's very often that, often in the black community, when someone tries to, I don't want to say fact check a lived experience, we tend to really be like, oh no, this bitch did not fucking try to tell me about my lived experience, right? And I think that's part of the thing that might rub Amanda the wrong way with some people is the fact that she's like, hey, I understand the lived experience, but there's a factual part that goes to the lived experience that a lot of us don't understand, right? Because we tend to have an emotional approach when it comes to those lived experience, removing the reality of the fact that comes with those experiences. And that's one of the things I appreciate about Amanda, and that I like seeing her in this interview and love her sit there and cross at her like, like this is, she was like, here we go. This is, clearly this was not the first time she didn't had a conversation with another person in our community with someone that same mindset.
Yeah,
For sure.
it is.
So, I mean,
it is the fight against people's own ignorance, and their ignorance driving the conversation. That was, for me, that was like my takeaway. And what I so appreciated was how Amanda stood up for herself, how she remained composed for the vast majority of it. She did give, a couple like, I'm about to
Right.
and then buck right now.
She kept grabbing that glass like this nigga.
And then
We all saw that face. We all saw that.
And then when he had the nerve to say, yeah, and your mama is white, and she's like, my mama ain't white.
Yeah,
Like
look.
it was like after all that, it was just like, and you're coming to me. Not only are you coming to me from your beliefs and your feelings, not from a place of fact and lived experience, but also your facts is wrong.
Yeah.
Right. Your cue card is wrong, Playboy.
Look.
So shout out to Amanda. I think that's shown really well. And I think for a lot of people that had kind of feelings about Amanda who don't know about her experience and her, her neurodiversity and how that shows up in the way that she interacts, I think it gave people a little bit more empathy for her situation than I think she probably would have got through another forum where it didn't put on full display the kind of things that she is up against and defending her lived experience.
And maybe that's why she went on there, just because of Shannon's style. Maybe that's what she thought about. It was just like, okay, I bet you Shannon gonna be like that, because again, he's been like that forever. Like maybe not as bad as, because it's his platform, but if you've been watching him for ESPN all these years, that was him day in, day out. Right, wrong, or indifferent, But that's what added to him being as successful as he's been on TV, is because he has that style and that view, and it is what it is, kind of thing. And so we'll see, and hope, and at the end of the day, hopefully it helped, like you said, Dawon, shine some light on what she's just kind of gone through,
the issues,
and give that empathy and that sympathy, so she could continue to succeed as she moves forward. Because she definitely needs to be seen and heard, because she's speaking about shit that no one else is talking about, at least on that level and that platform. So
1000%.
So we'll see. But all right, we'll take a quick little tea break now. Hey, community. A lot of you have asked how you can support Minoritea Report outside of the sharing and downloading and subscribing and leaving reviews. But you can also buy merch. Come on, baby.
I know that's right. And we have a whole lot of options, from clothing to pillows to tumblers and bags. And we continue to update all of our stuff with new styles, new colors, and new products. Jerrell, where can they get all that stuff at?
Well, they can get all that and then some at MinoriteaReport.com. They can find all the goodies, find out additional information about your aunties. And we also want to make sure that you share and tag us when you do buy merch, all right? So let us know if it's a hoodie, it's a tee, a long shirt, a towel, because we know you need those. But let us know.
Absolutely. And remember to wash your hands, your legs, and your ass. All righty, ladies. What time is it?
Ask
your
aunties.
It's like, where was Landon shaking his head then?
Look.
she over there grinning on the couch. She knows exactly what this is all about.
Right, I know that's right. All right, who wants to read this week?
I'll go.
I do want to say on the side note, though,
Yeah.
did we not already do this like a couple weeks ago?
We
No,
were
we
supposed
were going to.
but we did not.
Okay.
Yeah, it was queued up,
Okay.
but we didn't get to her.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I was sitting here, I was like, I've read
It's like,
this.
I think I've read this.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then in that case, let me go ahead and be the one to actually read it.
Go for
Okay.
it, girl.
Hi, aunties. I could really use your advice. My partner recently lost his job, and this is the second time in 3 years, and it's really affecting his confidence. He's incredibly talented, skilled, and the love of my life. I hate seeing him like this, and no matter what I do or what support I offer, it doesn't seem to make an impact. I really want to see him bounce back to his old self, but I don't want to push or frustrate him. Any suggestion for me?
Oof.
This is a tough one, and it's so relevant to a lot of
tough
situations that are going on. There's just a lot of people that are, being impacted by a lot of, different downsizing and resizing and, riffing and all that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah.
I would only say sometimes you have to be the silent support and come from a place of reassurance. We don't own the experience of others, but we can show them what they mean to us and validate their experiences without pushing them to a certain task or action that we think they need to take. I think the less that you can fight the more that you can fight the impulse to give advice, and the more that you can be in a space of, I'm just here to support you and be with you, and I'm going to ride with you through this thing. And should there be questions about what can this person do or whatever, you can offer your support then, but really lean back and support, be silent, let them figure this thing out and reassure them that they matter, that they're important. And honestly, I think that's really all that you can do in this case. What do you all think?
Yeah. Well, I mean, when I got laid off, it is a hit to your confidence, because you're like, damn, they don't see me like I'm dope. Like you're telling yourself, you're like, oh no, I'm dope. But maybe I'm not that dope. It triggers something where you're like that. You might have never ever really second guessed yourself like that before and things. And sometimes, I mean, especially in the business world, it ain't even about if you good or not, dope or not.
Say
you might have cost too much.
Say that, honestly, say that again, because I don't think a lot of people realize that when it comes to the corporate world, as much as a company says that they treat everybody like a person and not a number, at the end of the day, when them numbers be dipping,
a baby,
you are
baby,
you are,
and they got a bottom line to hit or top line to hit. You might have cost too much, or it might have cost too much for that particular budget, or it might, it's so many nuances. And maybe even Dawon, you're in that world in HR and things like that, and kind of have these conversations. And maybe at the end of it, we kind of just provide a little more light into that potentially, whatever you can share. But I know in my case, there wasn't going to be anything, at least initially, that Corey or anyone could have said to me. I just wanted to be in my feelings for a second because it hurt. My feelings were hurt. And yes, I know you love me. Yes, I know that I'm dope. Yes, I know. But right now, today, I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
So you continue to say this shit. It's just now starting to irritate the shit out of me, because you're not the one that needs to see it. They should have saw that shit.
Right.
And yes, it's not coherent in the moment, but it is the reality of the situation. So I agree with Dawon. Sometimes you just got to step back. And maybe initially just say, hey, I'm here for you whenever you're ready to talk, whatever, and leave it at that. We'll come to eventually. So just, make their favorite food or something, put their favorite TV show on the TV, give them a little foot rub or something, or a little handy under the cover when you're falling asleep or something. Little shit like that.
Do more than that. Damn.
Right.
You got all the time in the day at this point.
But sometimes you don't even want to feel like be touched. Like, I don't even want to feel like being loved right now, because, at least for me, I'll say that for me. It's just everything is just going to irritate me right now.
Yeah.
So it's let me kind of work through my thoughts real quick. I'll come to, but you're going to probably have to fall back a little bit, and they'll come to and ask you, and they'll let you or show you what they need in that moment. If you're kind of in tune with your partner or whatever, you kind of know what they need in the moment, and you harping on, oh, this job ain't shit. This job. Yes. I know it ain't shit, but like, but it was my shit just a week ago. Like, so it's just like all this weird shit that comes to you. And again, it does not mean you're less than. It does not mean you're not dope. It does not mean you're not skilled. It doesn't mean you're not valued. A lot of times the corporate world is a dirty game, and it comes down to a bottom line. And at that moment in time, they had to make some tough decisions or easy decisions, and you just weren't in that decision moving forward. But pick yourself up once you kind of get out the little media of the emotion. And there's going to be someone that needs your exact skill set, your exact personality, your exact everything that you are. And you'll look back and be like, damn,
Best thing
this
that
is
ever
why
happened.
I'm at literally. And it's wild to hear that. And it's hard to hear that sometimes. Or maybe it isn't. Maybe the next step isn't like your favorite job, but it might propel you to the next thing and things like that. So just kind of continue to kind of keep that in mind moving forward. But it's going to hurt you and your feelings. And rightfully so. But as a support system, need to just back up and let them come to you, and they'll let you know what they need.
Yeah, what you think, Jerrod?
Yeah, I mean, you all pretty much said everything. I would say I think you're doing a good job of making sure that you aren't trying to push them or frustrate them. You know, make sure that you understand that what you want isn't for selfish reasons, that, you know, getting them back to their own self isn't because you're feeling like this person isn't who you're looking for. Like, make sure you're wanting this for them. And I think as long as you have their best interest at heart as far as this situation with the work, then I think it'll be easier to make sure that you aren't pushing this person away. I think one other thing that I would add is just thinking of other ways to maybe just not distract, but just alleviate pressure and other things. Because the truth is, like, when you lose your job, there becomes a financial gap in your life that affects so many other things in your life, right? And I think if you can try to show up in the other ways, or, you know, try to help in things that might also feel like it's also on his plate, or their plate, I should say, might be a good thing to do. Not necessarily harping on the job part, but maybe, you know, picking up more on, you know, like the dinners, or picking up more on like the activities, or being like,
Or the
hey,
sex positions.
surprise, like, hey, you know, I got us 2 cheap tickets to Vegas for like $100 round trip. Like, so what? It's Spirit Airlines, right? But I'm still making sure that we are still doing these things,
That we're
right?
good. Yeah.
Like, there are things, and that's what I'm talking about the sex part, because there's things from a financial aspect where you don't have a job that you don't want to do because money's tight. Like, you're often penny pinching, right? And so those are things that can easily be frustrated as someone who doesn't have that steady income coming. So if you want to help a person feel like not having a job is the end of the world, make sure when it comes to living, they don't feel like they have all the same responsibility as they had just themselves when they had a job. Like, one of the things, like, I mean, no, knock on wood here, I'm fortunate enough not to have yet, because I work in corporate America. It's still possible to have been laid off. Every time I've gone from one job to another, it's been by choice, right? But I've also been in jobs where I didn't want to work there anymore, and it was very nice to have a partner who has said, hey, if you decide not to have the job, I can cover X, Y, Z. So that way we'll be good for this, you know, this period of time, and you can focus on getting another job and what's next, right? So that's kind of what I'm talking about from a support system, is thinking about what you can bring to the table, or how can you help them for maybe what they can't bring to the table because they no longer financially have that part that they bring to the table.
Yeah, and maybe even resist the urge to, because I mean, like, it might have been off camera last week. Like, Dawon was just talking about like how during the pandemic, I can't remember if it was during the episode or not. Just saying it took him 8 months to get the job. Same for me. It took me like 7-8 months to get a job, and there is that financial thing of like damn, hold on, okay, like, and luckily for me, like I worked at that location long enough to kind of get like the severance and things like that to kind of help out. But it gets to the end, you're like, oh, shit, like I gotta figure some shit out.
Yeah.
Resist the urge of feeling that burden as well, or you're going to feel it, quite frankly. But kind of resist the urge to maybe point blame and things like that if it takes longer than you anticipate. That's maybe another thing, because the person is already feeling that same stress, and even if they don't verbalize it, trust me, it's and they know it's in the back of their mind, because you start to feel bad, like, damn, they picked up another dinner, or they might have done this, like, and so just the burden starts to get even heavier. So resist. I know the stress will be on you as well, but try to resist blame or things like that, or if things are taking longer, because then that just builds up resentment and craziness and things like that when you're already stressed. So maybe that's another kind of call out, because especially even now, the job market's just a little wild right now, and it might take longer than anticipated to
it's
find
like the
the
Hunger
right
Games
fit
out
or the
there
job.
right now.
It
bitch.
is right now.
It's a,
Can I just also offer, watch your mouth, because it can be really easy to say something slick, you know, in the moment, and forget that this individual is. Now, let me preface this by saying I hope that y'all don't have, you know, a toxic, combative relationship, because, you know, sometimes people live with that kind of stuff and they like the spice and all that kind of whatnot. But like, based on the way that this is written, this tells me that this person, you know, feels incredibly proud of the work that they do, and the fact that they feel like that their confidence has been hit as a result of this experience. You know, like, that tells me that, you know, this is the person that really just wants to get back at it. This is not a person that's looking for a free ride, not for looking for, you know, their spouse to pick up the pieces for them. This is something they want to do for themselves. And what I would I would piggyback on both of y'all, like, be aware of how you show up in other areas, so that you're not adding to the stress factor when you're like, oh, you know, here, I just picked up the bill, so I guess I got to pay these. Like, be careful about the things that you might not even mean in malice or mean towards them, but could be taken in a way that just feeds into that insecurity that's already rumbling. And be as supportive as you can. And I fully recognize, and I just want to double click on what you said, Jerrell, about the financial part of it. Not everybody has a level of comfort and safety, a safety net that allows them to more gracefully navigate those waters where they're out of work, and that adds a whole level of stress and anxiety, like, oh, what are we going to do about rent, or I have a car payment that's due, or I have, you know, these big bills that are due, or you know, Uncle Sam is still knocking on my door for that, you know, for the $85,000 that I still owe for my schooling, or whatever it is that is going on that causes stress and anxiety. And I think from a partner perspective, the best thing you can do is you can be somebody who is a silent supporter and not a pusher, and just be there with them.
Ooh, silent supporter, buzzword for me, because I think that's one of the. I think that is something very, very important, because if your partner is like my partner, who is an independent person who don't need nobody, don't need no help from anybody, it don't. And honestly, at the end of the day, it don't matter what you do, right?
Yeah.
So I also think you have to understand that at the end of the day, that just simply isn't about you. And the only time you insert yourself if it started to become unhealthy to your relationship, which that is about the two of you.
That's right.
But if you both are happy, then you have to
Bitch,
you got
your ass down.
okay, and do it and do what you can, just because, and that's honestly it. Because you might never get the thank you or the, oh my God, that's been so amazing, because they weren't looking for it. They don't want it. Yeah. That's part of who they are as a person. And
that's a real statement.
Especially in that situation. Like, you are literally, like, it feels like you're fighting for your life. It's like, damn. Like, It's just like, I've been here this long, put on all this, like, all this shit is going through your head, so it's almost hard for you to see the love that's coming in that moment. At least it was for me. Like, and so honestly, it's like I don't even love myself right now. So the love you giving me, it like,
ain't shit.
Right, exactly. So it's just like, and then you getting your feelings because you ain't getting reciprocated, and then it just it ain't, like you said, it ain't about you right now. It is not the one. This is the one time it shouldn't be about you. Right. You know?
I have to say, being laid off, because I've been on both sides of the equation. I've been laid off, and I've survived multiple, you know, restructures, reorgs, and rifts and whatnot. And one of the things that I learned is that as you're going through that experience of trying to find a job, you still have so much time in the day to do a whole bunch of other things. So like,
That's true too.
for me, having that time off, yeah, I wanted to get back into like the corporate reign and do the whole like interviewing, getting a job and starting that all over and da da da. But I was like, I also like, there's only so many jobs that you can apply to at the beginning, you know, in the course of a day. You know, like, and if you're applying to jobs every single day, like, you know, them fingers be numb, like scrolling and finding and clicking and repeating your resume, you know, onto the applications when it's asking you to attach your copy of your resume. Like, it'd be like, how? Stop wasting my time and just take this PDF upload. Let me be about my goddamn day. But I also learned that I had so many other hours to actually invest in other things. And so, you know, like, I'm not suggesting that, you know, that you, whoever wrote this in, you know, that you need to encourage them to do that. But I would say silently urge them to take advantage of the time that you have, because you have so much time in the day, and you might not ever have this opportunity to have this much time in the day to not only find another job, but also invest in something that might be important to you, whether that is picking up a hobby, trying to explore a side hustle that maybe you've been putting off for a while. Like, this is a perfect opportunity. Like, you don't have any excuses. There's no barriers at this point. Yes, there is the desire to like get another job, but you have so many other hours in a day, 24 hours in a day. So there's a great opportunity to take advantage of the things that you didn't have time for or you put off. I'm speaking to the other person, not to the partner. Do those things. Take advantage of that, because honestly,
Uber driving, Lyft driving, especially, you never know who you might pick up from
start
the airport.
A business.
That you know, exactly.
Start a business. Like, invest in yourself.
This how the podcast started, because Kerel got laid off.
I wasn't gonna say that, but you know,
it's true. Right. That's the reality.
Right. You know,
that is the reality of the situation at hand.
But I do love the fact that this person wrote in on behalf of their experience with their partner, because it just, you know, you can feel the love that they have for their partner in this question, and they just want to do what's right, and they don't want to pile on, which I so appreciate. And I think honestly, the fact that you're asking this kind of question it's a level of self-monitoring so that you're showing up in the best way possible for your partner. I think that's one of the best gifts that you can give.
1,000%. Well, community, continue to send your Ask Yo Aunteas to aya@minoriteareport.com, or DM us, or send us your live voice to the T line at 844-832-5463.
I would love to know what the community thinks about, like, what they would recommend for like their partner, or if they're in a relationship, like what they would recommend for, you know, this kind of situation. I would love to hear from some of our community members, like just the different perspectives.
1,000. So yes. Okay, quickly, marijuana might be descheduled here, or is that the right word? Descheduled or
descheduled? Yeah.
Okay, or at least lower scheduled, I guess. So D means lower. So yeah. So right now it's a Schedule 1 drug, which means it's up there with like your LSDs, your
cocaine,
ecstasy,
your heroin,
your cocaines,
the
heroines, and then that part, it's like damn. And then descheduled to a Schedule 3, which means it's kind of more like your Tylenol with codeines, your steroids, your testosterones, and things like that, which is, I mean, honestly, it probably don't even need to be there. But, you know, sometimes I guess you got to crawl before you walk. And it's kind of one of those things that the campaign has got, or at least Biden's campaign has been trying to promise the whole, 4 years and things like that. So there's just a lot of things going on in this situation. So he's trying to get as many wins as he can before November.
Yes.
But hey, do what you gotta do. I get it. Do the marketing you need to do.
after the news dropped that there was a bill to force the bill that passed to force airplanes and airlines to pay people out, and to have that on, and the ability to actually travel across the state lines without having to worry about trafficking and because we've been decriminalized, not only decriminalized but prioritized in a list of the scheduling with which that drug is defined. Like, bring it on, Biden. Get all you can in.
And
I
he
mean,
also knows
let's
it's
be
a
honest.
boom for the economy.
But I was
Facts.
gonna say, no, this is given more not boom for economy, but boom for votes. Because let's be honest,
I'll take it.
Because he took that L. He took that L. He's gonna take that L with TikTok. He's
Oh,
gonna take a
yeah.
huge L with
Oh,
TikTok, and he's gonna have to figure out a way. What is another way to get in some of those votes of people who are the economy's gonna hurt from TikTok. So
I also
mean,
feel like because the TikTok component was literally just a sliver of the broader bill, it was like one of the smallest components of that particular bill. I feel like the owner of TikTok, like TikTok, they're gonna figure a way out. They're gonna figure a way around
They go.
that.
I was about to
So
say.
like,
I was thinking the same.
ain't no way. I don't care. Like how they gonna sell it to somebody else, and it's gonna be it's gonna be them.
Period.
So like,
And it's probably gonna be the same. And here's the thing: it's probably gonna be the same shit where China still get the damn data.
Right.
Like
now they'll be like,
point, they
okay,
gonna
fine.
get the data.
We'll close down TikTok. We got all the information we need. Bye, y'all. As they like speed past us.
it's no longer TikTok. It's gonna be Tic Tac. So shit, I bet you the one. They gonna figure a way.
Baby,
That's too much money lost.
honey. Ain't no way. And the amount, like,
Ain't no way.
I'm surprised that this got as much bipartisan support because this was, I think, they had like less than 10 Democrats and less than 20 Republicans vote against this bill. So this was truly a bipartisan bill that covered a lot of ground. But TikTok ain't going nowhere.
And then
We'll see.
another.
By the way, follow
another
us on
thing-
TikTok before it ends.
That part. Yeah, I know that's right. You better follow us on. And then finally, just another thing that's, I mean, I love, it's moments like this. Sometimes I'm like, the kids are okay. Still
Yes.
finding ways to speak up for what you believe in, even when it looks like the odds are against you. And doing what's good for your moral compass, and I like seeing that one way or the other. But it's wild to see the escalation and the snowballing really of college students protesting right now against the anti-war, against anti-Palestinian things like that, and honestly too anti what's the
Semitism.
Jewish where you-
Semitism.
Thank you. And I love seeing it because that's what's the cool thing about this damn country is you don't like some shit. Guess what, ho? We're about to protest and tear this motherfucker down. Yes, they might go up against you. They might try to kick you out of school. They might try to expel you. They might try to do all these things. But that's the cool thing about this country that is set up that we can at least voice. Doesn't mean it's all on fair ground. Doesn't mean it's all equal things. No. But at least we get the opportunity to try to speak up of what we're wanting to occur. So I'm like, yeah, man, the kids are all right. The kids are all right. Continue to do what you got to do. Us old fogies, like we too comfortable sometimes. So speak up against us and get us all the way together. And I mean, not talking about us because we gonna protest too. But there's sometimes just like the older you get, the more comfortable you get. And be like, damn, I don't feel like going outside today. No.
There's a lot of
Sometimes it
batons
pushes
that been
us.
passed on to other people to carry the fight.
Yeah.
So carry that fight.
Exactly. So keep doing and speaking up in what you believe because that's what pushes us forward to get to the justice that we need for whatever situation is at hand. Yeah, man.
And just a
It's
reminder,
interesting to watch.
as a frontline girl myself, all right, I want to remind people out there that when you protest, it should be peaceful. And the moment that you start putting your hands on other people and you start spitting on other people,
that part.
that's when you deserve whatever repercussion that you get. You cross that line. You blur that line and you open the door for whatever reaction that you get. And I don't want to hear, oh, well, this person did this or this person said this. No. If you started, it's on you. And I don't care what anyone else said because a protest should be using our words. We should be using our words to say how we feel and the changes that we want. And the moment you start using other things than words, that's on you. And let me tell you this, if anyone calls me the N-word at a protest, and a bitch spits on me, oh bitch, best believe. I don't care if I get jumped by 15 of y'all. I'm taking at least 6 of y'all bitches down with me, okay? Because it's a motherfucking rap. So I also want to remind people.
We got it ready.
I just want to remind people. You can be passionate about how you feel, but the moment you are disrespectful, you better be ready to catch whatever comes your fucking way.
Better be ready.
Whatever comes your fucking way. And because I will talk with whoever about whatever, but the moment you say fuck me, or you trying to be aggressive and get physical with me, I'm the one walking away.
Fuck you.
I'm the one walking away.
He gonna be like Kendrick said, I fucking hate you. I fucking hate your life. I fucking hate your clothes. I hate your shoes. Like he said to Drake. He came back with that fire.
Baby.
He said, nigga fuck me. No nigga fuck you. And don't say the word nigga no more.
Literally, don't say that shit no more.
He said, don't say nigga no more. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Keep it as peaceful. And honestly, I'm trying to watch how I say it. I get sometimes you got to throw some hands on some of these motherfuckers that are like very morally unsound. But you might catch some hands back too. So like, just make sure your hand game is up to speed.
All I gotta say, lawn chairs.
I think what Jerrell is saying is
lawn chairs and lawn chairs. That's what I gotta say. Remember that, lawn chairs and lawn chairs.
Period. Lawn chair season, ho.
Because we on the other side of the pandemic. When they go low, we taking it to the flow. So.
No, bitch. It's 6 feet under, bitch.
Exactly. Oh, you want to talk about mamas? Okay.
Honey. But no, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's just rough out there. It's rough out there. Like, and it's, I feel like it's at the situation. It's a lose-lose situation right now. That's the hard thing. It's just like I don't know what the win. I don't know what the win is. Like, it's gone so far, and there's so much traumatic stuff that has occurred. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I will tell you that I am so uneducated in this space that my choice at this point is I don't say I can't. I'm not speaking on things that I don't know things about. And like I understand, like, I don't condone violence. I'm not justifying anybody's behavior. At this point, I don't know enough about the situation to speak on it. What I would just tell people is be careful, use your voice in the best way possible. Communicate with, the authorities and, and with your politicians and, use whatever power you can to support your position. But yeah, I stay out of grown folks' business when I don't know what that business is all about.
Yeah. So, well, commute, stay safe out there. Anything else on your hearts and minds before we get out here? The Met Gala's on the day this episode comes out, so I'm sure we'll hear Dawon's critique this year. So we'll have that on next week's episode.
I'm actually really curious about how this is going to shake out because I think the theme.
Same.
The theme is Garden of Time, but it's a play off of like they call it Sleeping Beauty's reawakening fashion. So the exhibit is going to be all of these like vintage clothing that it's so delicate that they can't even wear it or whatever.
Fragile, yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see how people interpret that notion of Garden in Time. Like I expect that we'll see a lot of like flowers, but I'm actually looking to see like what kind of like. How is technology showing up in this? Like, are we going to see things that are like really more future forward, pushing the envelope, being more fashion aggressive, or are we going to see things, kind of being more a harken back to, like when I think of Garden of Time, that reminds me of like fairy tales. Like we're going to see more like people dressed up like, the princess, Disney princesses and, things like that. So it'll be really interesting.
I just want to see what Zendaya is going to wear because Law and hers collaboration is just... top,
but
chef's kiss.
And she's co-hosting it.
Exactly. So she's about to bring it. Oh,
yeah.
Like she's just in her prime right now. She's just killing us, slaying us, She's like, fuck all y'all hoes. I'm the top bitch right now. Thank
Yep.
you. And I'm here for it. I am here for it.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, community, stay safe. Wash your hands, wash your legs, wash your ass. We'll see you next week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.